Assalamualaikum, my name is Eliza Snaiza and my matric number is 312860. So today I'll be talking about the concept of Hibah and its application in Islamic banking system in Malaysia. So Islamic banking offer an ethical, transparent and interest-free financial system. One of the most important concepts in this system is Hibah, which is a voluntary gift or reward that given to the client because Hibah encourage like saving, loyalty and trust while keeping the financial system Sharia compliant. So in Malaysia, Hibah is applied in product like saving accounts, current account with the check privilege, and investment deposit account. So the understanding of Hibah is essential for the growth of modern Islamic finance and for ensuring the product remains ethical. So what is Hibah? Hibah is an Arabic word mean like give. It is like a voluntary transfer of ownership from one person to another without expecting any reward in return. So in Islamic law, Hibah represents the generosity, kindness and mutual harmony. It's often practiced to like strengthen the family ties, appeal to goodwill, or help those in need. Legally, Hibah takes effect immediately upon transfer, requires mutual consent, and both parties must be of sound mind and free to dispose of their resources. But in Islamic banking, Hibah means like incorporated into financial products such as reward, rebates, or goodwill programs. It is important that these practice follow Sharia principle, remaining voluntary and ethical, while also preserving their historical and religious significance. Essentially, Hibah allows bank to reward clients without entering into contractual obligations or paying interest, like maintaining the ethical nature of the system. So next is about the general statement about the Islamic management. So Islamic management is a root in Sharia principle like justice, adil, trustworthiness, amanah, ethical behavior and social well-being. So Hibah play a like crucial role here, like creating the harmony between the parties, strengthening the trust and maintaining the societal balance. It reflect the idea that wealth is a trust from Allah to be used responsibly, embodying the generosity, ihsan. So next, I will talk about the issue of conceptual ambiguity in Hibah within the Islamic banking. So the main problem is that there is no standardized interpretation of Hibah across Malaysian Islamic banks. In classical Islamic law, Hibah is a voluntary gift given without expecting any in return. However, in modern banking, it is often used as an economic incentive to like reward or retain the customer. So this create like a conflict between the traditional concept and its practical application, because different banks follow their own Sharia resolution, which lead to the variation in how Hibah is delivered, calculate and disclosed. Different banks follow like their own Sharia resolution, which lead to the variation in how Hibah is delivered, calculate and disclosed. So some banks treat it like as a charitable gift, while others use formulas or past data that make customer expect a certain return, which can be confusing. So, the situation is further complicated by the different types of hibah, such as general hibah, conditional hibah, hibah rukbah, and hibah amanah. Even though the Sharia Advisory Council of Bank Negara Malaysia provide like rulings, these are not applied consistently, like leading to non-uniform practice. So because of this, it can be like difficult to distinguish between the genuine hibah and discuss interest, like raising Sharia concern and reducing public trust in Islamic banking product. Next, let's look at the operational and legal challenge of implementing hibah in Islamic banking. First, many customers misunderstand that hibah because they thinking like it work like a guarantee return, because like when payment are predictable, it start to look like interest, which is against the Sharia. Because of this, bank needs to educate customer and provide clear disclosure. From the legal perspective, hibah require ijab, kabul, and qab, or transfer of possession. So in banking, transfer are electronic, which make this tricky to prove. Incomplete document, especially for hibah related to inheritance or hibah amanah, often lead to dispute in court. Third, about the conditional hibah can also cause problems. If like conditions are too strict, it look like a contractual promise. If too vague, it creates ambiguity and audit issues. So, overall, implementing the hibah successfully requires strong documentation, Sharia governance, and risk management to avoid dispute and maintain compliance. Regulatory gaps and consumer misunderstanding and the risk of Sharia compliance. So, first we have the regulatory gaps because although the Malaysia have a strong Sharia framework, but hibah regulation are still evolving. So there are grey areas in what banks are allowed to do, especially with discretionary hibah in wadi'ah or court accounts, which can sometimes look like guarantee returns. Like in addition, unclear guidance from the Sharia Advisory Council causes banks to interpret the rules differently, leading to inconsistencies in practice. Second, there is a customer misunderstanding. Many customers mistakenly believe that hibah is guaranteed profit. This turns hibah into something like interest, which blur the distinction between the Islamic and conventional banking. Such as like misconception can reduce the trust in Islamic product and weaken their credibility. And last but not least, there are Sharia compliant risks. Like predictable or expected hibah can be seen as a riba in disguise. Weak regulations and low consumers awareness increase these risks. Like legal dispute may arise. For example, in hibah rukbah or hibah in wasiat. Therefore, stronger Sharia auditing and oversight are needed to maintain the compliance and protect the integrity of Islamic banking.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Rashkin binti Masri. Today I will present the literature review focusing on hibah in the Islamic banking system based on the first article I studied. First, hibah refers to a voluntary transfer of ownership without expecting any return. It must happen during the giver's lifetime and it is different from wills, loan, obligatory maintenance or zakat. The main principle behind hibah are tabarruk, meaning voluntary givings, willingness and clear ownership. The legitimacy of hibah is supported by both the Quran and the Sunnah. In Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 2, Allah encouraged cooperation in goodness. The Prophet ﷺ also said, give, and you will love one another. This shows that hibah is not only a financial concept but also a moral and a social act encouraged in Islam. Next, the article explains the differences between several related terms. Hibah is a voluntary transfer without compensation. Hadiah is a gift given as a sign of appreciation or affection. Sadaqah is charity given to seek reward from Allah and help others. Meanwhile, al-ata is a type of giving made by someone who is critically ill. According to Imam Al-Nawawi, hadiah and sadaqah actually fall under the broader category of hibah. For hibah to be valid, several conditions must be fulfilled. There must be an offer and acceptance, known as ijab and qabul. The asset must be something permissible and unable. There also need to be an actual transfer of possession, known as qab. And importantly, hibah must be voluntary and free from coercion. In Islamic finance, hibah is applied differently depending on the institution. For tabung haji, hibah is used under the wadi'ah yad damanah contract, which is a safekeeping contract where the institution guarantee the return of deposit. However, hibah must not be promised in advance because a guaranteed return would lead to riba. Tabung haji will only give hibah when its asset exceed its liability as required by the Tabung Haji Act. The article also highlight the hibah issue in 2018. For that year, the hibah rate was 1.25%, even though Tabung Haji record a profit of 2.014 billion, only 13 million could be distributed because hibah can only be given from surplus asset. Next, the calculation follows the formula average monthly minimum balance time hibah rates. The hibah is then credit after Tabung Haji pays zakat on behalf of depositors. Hibah plays an important role in Islamic financial product. It's help prevent riba in saving products because return cannot be guaranteed. It's also strengthen trust and relationships between financial institution and customer. Hibah provide a halal method of wealth transfer and encourage customer loyalty without violating Sharia principles. In conclusion, hibah is a key instrument in Islamic finance that support both economic and social objectives. It must be voluntary, not guaranteed, and follow Sharia condition. The case of Tabung Haji shows how hibah can be used responsibly and legally within the financial system. So this is all from me. Thank you.
Let's move to the hibah in legal Sharia and regulatory perspective. First, classical hibah in family law refer to voluntary gift between family members such as parents. Falls under the state list of the Federal Constitution, Sharia Court jurisdiction. Second, commercial hibah in Islamic finance, modern or commercial, hibah is used as a financial tool in Islamic banking and takaful, governed by federal laws and regulation, including Bank Negara Malaysia hibah policy document. Third, hibah in takaful, conditional hibah is a mechanism used in family and personal accident takaful. Takaful benefits transfer to the beneficiary only if the participant dies before certificate maturity. Hibah, Islamic law allow hibah to any person, not only close relative. Hibah is a contract without consideration appear inconsistent with section of the contract. Hibah trust amanah. Hibah amanah combines hibah with trust principle and is widely used the wealth planning. Institutions such as PNB, Tabung Haji, and Amanah Raya.
Relationship between hibah and wadiah in Islamic banking is the bank use customers' fund for business operation, such as investment. Hibah is given as a voluntary reward to customers from the bank's business profit. Issues of hibah in wadiah is hibah was given consistently, causing it to be perceived as an expected return. This creates a risk of resembling interest or riba, and scholars view that the wadiah practices in bank resembles card a loan more closely. So this leads to Sharia non-compliant risk. BNM Policy 2018. BNM issued the court policy is all wadiah yatamanah products were converted to court. Effective date at 31st July 2018. Purpose is to align industry practices with Sharia principles. Hibah under the court contract is it cannot be promised in value, it cannot become a consistent practice, and no indicative rate is allowed.
Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Nur Syafiqah Nasution binti Ahmad Yusof. Today I will talk about the importance of Islamic business and entrepreneurship. So the first one is educating entrepreneurs to be truthful in their business dealings. This principle ensure ethical integrity in all transactions and build trust with their customers. The evidence that I got from the Quran is from Surah Al-Mutaffifin that warns against giving less than due and taking full advantage, emphasizing honesty. Also, from the hadith, the Prophet Muhammad also said, the truthful, trustworthy merchant is with the prophets, the truthful, and the martyrs. So, for the example, a domestic go retailer like Cikgu Aiman Gadget display transparency in weight and purity, providing detailed receipts. This is a practical illustration of siddiq in business, gaining customer trust and promoting ethical practices. Then, the second important is encouraging the development of entrepreneurs who are benevolent, ihsaniyah, and generous. Islamic business encourages social responsibility, kindness, and supporting those in need. As stated in Surah Al-Baqarah, spending well in the way of Allah multiple rewards. The Prophet also said, indeed Allah has commanded that ihsan, excellence, and kindness be shown in all things. In real life example is Tan Sri Said Mukhtar Al-Bukhari, who donated a significant portion of his income to support 15 poor families, such acts show ethical, charitable business practices and create social well-being. The third important is achieving blessing or barakah in wealth through Sharia compliant financial management. Islamic business emphasizes avoiding riba, horror, and unethical dealings. The Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah verse 2, permits trade but forbids usury, and the Prophet said, Allah is good and He therefore accepts only that which is good. Entrepreneurs can practice this by using Islamic financial instruments such as murabahah, mudarabah, and musyarakah, and fulfilling obligations like business zakat. Banks like Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad and CIMB Islamic facilitate Sharia compliant business operation, promoting blessing in wealth while ensuring ethical conduct. The fourth important is eradicating oppression and injustice. Islamic business prohibits exploitation, ethical and unfair trade practices. As stated in Surah An-Nisa verse 4, do not consume one another well unjustly but only in lawful business by mutual consent. Based on the hadith, the Prophet also said, every Muslim blood, wealth and honor are sacred to another Muslim. A practical example for this important is Langit Collective, which empowers rural farmers in Sabah and Sarawak to sell produce at fair prices. This promotes social justice, equitable opportunities, and build trust in the marketplace. The fifth important is establishing halal industry, ensuring products and services comply with the Sharia. This allows Muslim consumers to access lawful and ethically produced goods. As stated in Surah Al-Baqarah verse 2, commands believers to consume good and lawful things. The Prophet also warned that consuming unlawful products invalidates blessing. Entrepreneurs can help by obtaining halal certification, maintaining quality standards, and sourcing halal compliant materials. For instance, Nestle Malaysia ensure all the products in Malaysia meet JAKIM Sharia compliant standards that can increasing consumer confidence and promoting the ethical business practice.
Alright, so let's move to the recommendation. So for the first recommendation is from government. The government should strengthen the Hibah guidelines under the Islamic Financial Services Act, as this Act replaces the Takaful Act 1984 and aims to enhance financial stability and Sharia compliance. This improvement is necessary to address the weaknesses of the previous legislation and to further strengthen Sharia governance within the Islamic finance industry. And the second one is a private sector. Islamic banking institutions are encouraged to establish a dedicated Hibah monitoring unit to ensure that every Hibah application is processed in accordance with Sharia procedure, supported by secure and systematic documentation. This specialized unit will also reduce human errors and enhance the professionalism of Hibah management, ultimately increasing customer confidence. Alright, so the third is community. The community should view Hibah as an essential part of family wealth planning to prevent inheritance conflicts, disagreements among heirs, and delays in estate settlement. Hibah provides a clear and proactive mechanism for distributing assets during a person's lifetime, helping to avoid disputes and legal complications after death. so for the third one is government-linked companies. Government-linked companies should strengthen strategic collaboration with Sharia institutions such as the State Islamic Religious Councils to ensure that all Hibah products strictly comply with Sharia principles. This cooperation may involve regular reviews, knowledge sharing, and training for officers and help to build public trust in Hibah based on the products. Alright, so the third is
Fifth is related institutions, state religious authorities and Sharia judiciary. Institutions such as State Islamic Religious Council and the Sharia judiciary should standardize Hibah registration procedures nationwide to avoid differences between states. A uniform system will simplify the process for the public, minimize legal dispute, and accelerate state administration by creating a more transparent and efficient Hibah framework. Conclusion. Summary of the whole discussion. Hibah is a Sharia concept that complements major Islamic banking contracts and is used to encourage customers to fulfill their financing obligation consistently. Its implementation is Sharia compliance and has approved by the Sharia Advisory Council of Bank Negara Malaysia. The first question is, how does Hibah work in Islam and why is it important? Hibah is a voluntary gift where ownership is transferred immediately once accepted, without expecting anything in return. It must be done willingly by capable individuals. It strengthens relationship and reflects generosity. In Islamic banking, Hibah is used for rewards or rebate, but it must remain voluntary to comply with Sharia. The second question is, what are the key differences between Hibah, Hadiah, Sedekah and Al-Atta, and how do scholars classify their relationship? The answer is, Hibah is a voluntary transfer of ownership during a person's lifetime. Hadiah is a gift given out of respect or affection. Sedekah is charity given out to seek Allah's pleasure. And Al-Atta refers to giving by someone close to death. According to Imam Al-Nawawi, Hibah is the broader category that includes Hadiah and Sedekah. In Islamic finance, a valid Hibah must include an offer and acceptance, a permissible asset, and actual transfer of possession. Third question is, why was tabung haji Hibah rate only 1.25% in 2018? The answer is because the law allows Hibah only from surplus asset and tabung haji's liabilities were higher than its asset, limiting the amount it could distribute. Even the profits, it could only pay Hibah based on available surplus. The fourth question is, why does Section 26 of the Contracts Act 1950 conflict with the Islamic concept of Hibah? The answer is Section 26 makes agreements without consideration void except in limited family-related cases, while Hibah in Islamic law is valid even without consideration and can be given to anyone. Although complete gifts are recognized, the civil law restricts focus on consideration and close relationship creates uncertainty for Hibah-based transactions, especially in Islamic finance. The fifth question is, what is the main Sharia concern regarding condition Al-Hibah in Takaful under IFSA 2013? The answer is, IFSA allows beneficiaries to be anyone, not just heirs, which may conflict with Islamic inheritance rules and lead to dispute over heirs' rights.